Actually, I was totally surprised that the message came out of nowhere. So welcome again. So before we start, just to make, since there are some new people with us today, please make sure to make the community awesome, be respectful and kind. Share your thoughts and ideas and ask for help, but be mindful. As we all love WordPress and want to help the community, share your knowledge and meet some great people. If you have a great topic you'd like to speak to us about, please don't hesitate. Get a minute of your time, write me an email, and let's see how that can actually be arranged. As we will be recording some of the parts of our meetup, and if you are not happy with your name or perhaps with your photo or image being shown there, can you please change it so that we at some later stage would be able to actually promote this as an expertise given to the WordPress community. If you don't know already, I mean, you should. You're in GoDaddy Pro EMEA Meetup. What is GoDaddy Pro? GoDaddy Pro is a dashboard and set of tools from where you can grow your business or the business of your clients with a number of tools and program benefits. So it saves time. It gives actually more life to your already existing life. And that means that with this tool, you're going to be spending more time working, but actually having fun. If you'd like to get more, if you'd like to know more about it, I will just shoot a link down in the chat. In addition, we have a promotion. GoDaddy Pro has a promotion of 3 months of WordPress e-commerce hosting for $1 for all the new shops that are coming out. I will also shoot out this link to you because I believe it's very interesting. Now, as we move to our topic, I usually write polls and on both Twitter and LinkedIn to try to understand how people feel about the topic we're going to be talking. And the question for the last week was, do you consider RTL readiness when creating a website? And on LinkedIn, 31% people said never, 46% said sometimes, and 23% always. So there is more of those who who didn't use actually the RTL enhancement. But when it comes to the Twitter poll, the never even comes even more. So here it's already 44%. So as I believe this is going to be a very interesting meetup that we will have today, I would like to ask our presenters today, the speakers, Ali and Mohamed, to introduce themselves and tell us why people are lately using more RTL readiness than before. Is there a business catch behind, or it's an accessibility point, or there is something else?
I believe that since the world is more connected nowadays, and since everyone is competing for a piece of the pie, a lot of people noticed that the non-English speakers are a huge chunk of the internet. For so long, the English has been dominating the internet in terms of content, in terms of content producing, in terms of services and other, even the documentation of the programming languages is written in English. So for a long time, it has been considered like the pioneer language. But nowadays, as the internet is penetrating more and more, it's reaching all the regions. And since there are languages that have a base which is bigger than the English, if you talk Chinese, maybe if you talk the Indian language or the Arabic language, there's a huge fan base for this. So it makes more sense in a business perspective to target these people and to consider them when delivering your content. So I think this is the most important thing. Of course, we can go deeper into that, but maybe Ali, you have something like to say in this sense.
Yeah, I will keep this discussion to the slides. So maybe we can. I will discuss it there in more detail. Would you like to share from your side?
Yeah, I'm gonna start sharing. Okay. So once I see, all right. So you can. Oh, so You can see it, right?
All is great.
Yeah.
All is great.
All right.
Yes, yes.
So, Ali, can you see the screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So today we're gonna discuss the best ways to make your WordPress RTL ready. So Ali prepared this first.
So as you can see, you can in RTL it's all begins from right to left. So if you read right to left, then the Arabic من اليمين إلى اليسار, then the Hebrew one, then the Urdu one. So when we start thinking about the themes, about RTL themes, we start to shift our mind from reading from left to right to right to left. Let me introduce myself. So I'm a WordPress developer for the last 5 years, and me and Mohamed we're working together to build the WordPress meetups in Lebanon, along with other 4 co-organizers. Maybe we have some of them on board, and we organize do action hackathons, and I participated in organizing WordPress Asia last year. That failed to happen due to COVID-19.
Okay, so I'm Mohamed and Ali. I'm also a co-organizer of the WordPress Beirut Meetup. I met Ali back in 2017 after several meetups that he has done. He used to host it every first Tuesday of the month. We made a meetup every now and then. So I started giving out some sessions and some talks, and from there, our passion of WordPress kept giving us this energy to move, and now we share the same vision of becoming the largest WordPress meetup in the EMEA region. So this is our main focus for now. As Ali was saying, we've been doing a couple of monthly meetups. It was mainly backed up by Beirut Digital District. It's like a digital hub in Beirut, where they provided us with the space, and everyone could come there and host their event for free. They wanted to support all the local development community and all the other technical communities. In addition to our monthly meetups, we do an event called Do Action. It's a global event that every country does under the umbrella of WordPress. During this event, we bring out a couple of local NGOs, and we build them a free WordPress website with the help of the community. The last meetup, the last Do Action we did was in 2019, and we had around 50 participants. Most of them were developers, designers, content writers, and project managers.
Yeah, we did as well translation nights. We gather like 4, 5, or 6 people and start translating WordPress from English to Arabic language, and start to translating plugins from English to Arabic.
So I'm just gonna skim through this short video. I'm just gonna play around a couple of minutes. So this is our community. This is Ali.
This is amazing. I really love looking at this.
Yeah, we had around, as I said, 5 NGOs. They were active NGOs, and they needed someone to help them with with building their WordPress.
نحن كوردبريس كوميونتي لبنان جمعنا 50 فولنتيرز، كلنا من اكسبيرينسز مختلفين، من ديزاينرز، ديفلوبرز، بروجكت مانجرز، كواليتي تيسترز، سوشيال ميديا اكسبرت، كوبي رايترز.
sorry.
كلنا سوا هدفنا واحد، انه نعمل 5 ويب سايتس ل5 NGOs فور فري كله بنهار واحد.
I need to ask you now, were those websites RTL already that you guys made?
Yeah,
yes,
actually,
most of,
yeah, most of the NGOs, most of the local NGOs prefer local language, prefer the Arabic language. So most of them were in Arabic as primary language.
okay, so I'm just gonna skip through the websites.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is one of the activities that we do. We were aiming this year to do, what was it, Ali? WordCamp or WordCamp, yeah.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, we had to change our plans and think about everything from scratch. So, Yalla Ali, it's your turn.
So okay, so as we were discussing like 10 minutes ago, people are getting more, are starting to have more and more idea about that. A lot of people, a lot of people doesn't have the English as a mother language. So so the non-English people are the non-English speakers are counted about 75% of the internet language. Okay, so this is give us an idea about the about how we should shift our focus or to give attention to non-English languages, especially when it comes to right-to-left languages. Since like if we had the French language or have any left to right language, nothing will be different when we are styling our theme or we are developing our theme. However, when we start to support right to left languages, the whole theme should shift, and this shift causes a lot of elements to be to become broken. So I counted here like a few the most famous languages. Like Arabic, we have 422 million people speak Arabic. We have 100 million people speak Urdu, and 100 million people speak Farsi. So and if you according to statistics, it's about 1 billion people who speak right to left languages. So this is the niche that we are speaking about, and this is the niche that that started to rise the requests for theme developers or for plugin developers to support the right to left language in their themes and in their plugins. So to give you an idea, this is the lorem ipsum of in Arabic. So this image. So this is the lorem ipsum in Arabic. It's from right to left. As you can see, the exclamation mark is at the end of the sentence to the left and not the right, and so on. So regarding the spaces, over to you, Mohamed.
Okay. So here's a screenshot of a website that we found that supports both left to right languages and right to left language. As you can see that there's so many things happening between these two different pictures. The first thing that everyone can notice is the logo. From left to right, the logo is on the left. From right to left, we start the logo on the right. The same applies for the content. on the RTL version, you can see that the column and the content have switched positions. So we're going to discuss all these elements in the upcoming slides, because it's not just a matter of flipping a design. There's so many rules and techniques that you have to look out for. And there's some like really interesting stuff that even we haven't thought of, and we just took them for granted, and we're going to discuss them later in this slide. So just like a quick note that these major companies, they do support RTL, and they do care about serving the RTL languages to their native speakers, because it defines the experience on the platform. It gives a totally different feel of how you can relate to the content or relate to the community, because not everyone knows English, not everyone knows French, not everyone knows Italian. And as we spoke earlier, there's around 1 billion non-English speakers, or let's say non-LTR language supporters. So Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Anghami is a very well-known regional music app. It's a Lebanese origin app that serves its application in both English and Arabic layouts. GoDaddy, of course, Instagram, and also WhatsApp. So we see that RTL is also found in mobile apps, and as much as it's found in the web platforms or web applications. Ali.
Yeah, before I would like to add a comment as well to what you said regarding supporting the Arabic language. I can see the behavior of the audience. Like when I'm administrating a website that has the English and the Arabic language, and our niche, like our users are from the MENA region or from Arabic speaking countries. Although they know how to read English, although they know how to browse the English version of the website, however, they prefer to switch and go to the Arabic website and read the maybe navigate and read the content from there. So even when we have who know like both languages or are familiar with both languages, they at the end they prefer their mother language or mother tongue language. So that's why even from these 1 billion people who speak right to left, even like half of them know how to speak English, but it's still important for them to navigate in the Arabic language, as it is more easier for them. So the first technical slide comes here. When we want to, the first thing we want to do on a website is to switch the language, to start seeing the right to left thing. So in WordPress there is 2 ways to switch the language of the website. The first way is when you have only one language on the website. Let's say you just want your website to be in Arabic language. Then this is so simple. You go to the settings, you go to the site language, and you just switch the site language from English to Arabic, and your website will all go from right to left, or start showing things from right to left. One older way before WordPress 4.0, it was the last version was 3.9.2. They were hard coding it by adding this function, define WP lang AR or whatever the language, in the WP config file. So this was like 3 or 4 years ago, but now it's just like a couple of clicks in the CMS of WordPress. So the other way of switching the language is when you have not just only one language on your website. However, you want to support multiple languages. Like I want my website to be in Arabic and in English at the same time. I have an English content that I want to translate to Arabic content. So so here WordPress by itself doesn't support this in its core, so we need a plugin to do this for us. One of the 3 famous plugins that do this job is Polylang, WPML, TranslatePress, and maybe I'm sure most of you heard about one or two of all of these plugins. So this will allow you to switch your website between English and Arabic and go back to English. So one more thing is when you switch your language to Arabic, especially me or me as developer, my eyes are always how do we say it? Always see English dashboard, English CMS of the WordPress. So when I see it in Arabic, it gets I get confused and I get annoyed by how we would navigate in this Arabic dashboard as I used to use the English one. So the trick is like a year ago, WordPress introduced this setting in your profile where you can switch your profile language to be different than the website language. So you can set your website, you can set your website language as Arabic, but you can keep your profile language as English and as your administrator. So you can do this setting
as if you have 2 options. One is for the front end that people see, and one is for the administrator that works on the website. So they gave us some sort of a flexibility.
100%. So this allows you to stay seeing your CMS in your preferred language, regardless of what is your front end. Over to you, Mohamed.
Okay. We've started with the technical stuff so that you don't get bored at the end. So we've kept the juicy things to the to the end. So I'm not sure how many of us here come from a technical background or are familiar with WordPress. So if anyone has a question or anything, just shoot it in the chat, and we'll make sure to clear out any ambiguous terms or anything. So WordPress relies on a file called style.css. This file is the main backbone of any template. From this file, the website draws everything, places everything, and distributes the content, colors the text, gives the bold and everything. So and WordPress relies on this to display the content in the preferred language. So if we have, let's say, want to display the language from left to right, we use the style.css. But if we want to use the website in RTL, then we use the style-rtl.css. And this allows WordPress to automatically detect the shifts. So whenever we change the setting to Arabic, it tries to search for the style-rtl. If we use it in English, French, or any other languages, it searches for the style.css. A quick way to do this is this snippet code. What it does is it tells the template or the theme that when you have RTL, just replace the text. Instead of style.css, make it RTL. We achieve this. There's so many ways to do this. First way is that we can get the English style, load it on a tool like rtl.css or CSS Janus. I don't know how to pronounce this. So what it does is it automatically flips all the settings. Then we have to tweak it a little bit and then save this. The cons of this is that we now have 2 files, one in Arabic and one in English. So if we want to do some maintenance, we have to maintain both files. The good thing is that we only have to load 1 file per language, not 2 files per languages. So that's the first way. The second way is, Ali is going to talk about this.
So yeah, so the second way, instead of loading just one file, either the Arabic or the English as method 1, here we keep the original style as is. We keep enqueuing, or we keep adding the initial style as is. However, we add another file, we call it, let's say, rtl.css, where we place all the RTL styles that we want to override the main slide. So in this way, we want to load this file, this RTL file, in only the Arabic language, on only the RTL language. So we wrap it in a conditional if statement which says if the website is RTL, then load this file. However, if it's just the normal flow left to right, just keep loading only the style.css. This method as well has its pros and cons. So the con of this method is loading multiple files in the front end. So instead of loading just one file for the website CSS, you are loading 2 files. Maybe this will have performance issues, or it will depend on your website performance. And the other thing, both languages interfaces need to have similar structure. So this method help us when we just have small changes between small flips between the RTL and LTR. However, when we have like completely different structure, this method will not be helpful. But this method has its benefits. It saves a lot of work. Like when you want to edit one style in both language, you just edited in one file. However, in the first method, you want to edit to do this edit in 2 places. Another positive thing is you have all the Arabic only styles in just one file. So when you want to play with the Arabic style, you know where it is in this small file that's called rtl.css. Over to Mohamed.
Okay. So one of the, if not one of the main attributes that differentiates RTL layout from LTR layout is the HTML attribute dir, this one, and the CSS property direction. The first one is applied on the level of the HTML. So it goes in the code of the HTML, and the value of this is RTL. I should have put in a example here. So, and the second one, the direction, which is a CSS property, it controls at the level of the layout and the text directions and everything else. There's also other CSS properties that also play a major role in layouts and page directions and even element direction. It's called the float property, which has a left or right value. So if we assign a float property to an element and we gave it the value of left, then the element would simply go like here to the left. And if we give it a right property, it will align to the right of the document and to the right of the page. And if you have 2 elements like these ones, we align the first one to the left and the next to the right, and they will look exactly how it's looking right now in the presentation. Another important property is text direction. This also has a couple of values. It's left, center, and right. They can all be applied on all the languages. So if you're using Arabic language or RTL language, we simply use the text direction right. The final one is the clear. Clear has multiple usages, especially in layouts and in text. It simply tells the browser to clear everything on the left or the right or both direction of any item. So let's say I have this title. When I set clear, nothing is aligned next to it. Everything has to be either below it or above it. So these are some of the important properties and HTML attributes that define that differentiates RTL from LTR. And there's other things like padding and margins, which Ali is going to explain more now.
All right. So one of the main changes that we want to do when we start to flipping our website is to take care of the margins and padding. Like as you can see here in the first image, when it is from left to right, the green section, the margin were the margin between the image and the text were to the right. So when we want to flip this image, this margin, if we kept it in the right, it will show in the red as in the red box. So we want to fix this margin and make it 0 and make the margin instead to the other side. So always when we have to work with margins and padding, we want to make the let's say we have padding left 10 pixel in the normal flow. When we want to speak about RTL, we want to 0 the left and then put the 10 pixel in the right. All right. So this way it will flip the margin, and similarly we do it for the paddings. So let's say we have this icon, and in the next image we have this icon, this search icon to the right, and we have a small space in the left. When we do it from right to left, we will put the icon on the left and the text on the right. So we need to switch these padding. So the small padding, instead of being in the left, it should be to the right, and the large padding, instead of it being on the right, it should go to the left. So so this is one of the main styles that we start flipping when we start supporting right to left languages. Do we have any questions till now?
Maybe it's better that we hear the whole presentation and
Yeah, definitely.
understand what you guys will not say.
Yeah. So when we want to flip a design from RTL to from LTR to RTL, we need to keep in mind the page direction. We need to keep in mind the paddings and the margins, and we also need to keep in mind the alignments. So as we explained in the page direction, there's properties called floats, and this is mainly used when we want to place a certain object to the left side or to the right side. Like we can see in this example, the logo in English is placed on the left, the logo in Arabic is placed on the right. So this is mainly based on the alignment property of the language. The other thing is the text dash align. I just wanted to show another example how it differs from the English and from the Arabic. So these both two properties are mainly used, the float and the text align are mainly used for images and text alignments.
All right, so yeah, so a lot of news websites has a sidebar. A lot of blogs has this sidebar. So usually, let's say it's placed on the left side of your website. When we start to develop the right to left theme, we move this sidebar from left to right, and we start working on all the elements inside the sidebar to do the switch as well, to start showing from left to right. And the thing is, sidebars have like 4 or 5 methods to be placed. So some developers or some people use the floats, others use left and right, others use grid, others use the flex. So each one of these properties need to be flipped from left to right. Like if we had left 0, we need now to use right 0. If we have float left, we need to switch it to float right.
So now that we've spoken a lot about elements and floats and text, and now we need to talk about shapes. So as you can see in my screen, there are two sets of shapes. You have the ones that can be flipped, and we have the ones that does not need to be flipped. For example, the coffee cup. So it's always the same. There's not like a cup of coffee for the RTL and a cup of coffee for the LTR. The same goes for the clock. But if we look at other icons, it's optional unless it's the direction. So on many screens, for a non-RTL user, a left to right user, a back screen looks like this, or a forward screen, forward arrow looks like this. But in Arabic, it actually looks like this because we start from the right and to the left. The same thing goes for the running person and the other symbols that you see here. So we always have to keep in mind that we don't need to flip everything. Some things it's logical to flip because if we don't flip them, they will mean something else, or it becomes an ambiguous character or logo that should not be used in that sense. But for other stuff, it can remain the same. I'm also going to show different examples in the following slides. Ali. So
after the shapes, it comes now the mobile section. So as we did in the desktop, like we flipped the sidebar from left to right and the elements from left to right. In the mobile we start as well flipping the elements. Like if we have a burger button on the top right, now in the Arabic we want it to be top left, and the same comes for the title of the app. And if we want to speak about the carousel in the Arabic, in the English we flip carousel from this way, so it's from like right to left. However, in Arabic we do the flip in the other side, so we flip them from this way. Okay, so we can read the text as it comes in. And here, can you run the animation in the next slide?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Okay, so here is the header of the mobile app. We already saw this in the previous slide. We have the logo to the left in the English and to the right in the Arabic. We have the burger menu to the right on the English and the left on the Arabic. Once we open the burger menu, we need to flip all the elements in this menu. So as you can see in the English one, the close button is top to the right. However, in Arabic, we put the close button top to the left. And similarly, we align or we realign the text, the elements of this menu. So these issues we need to take care of when it comes to switching the direction of the text.
Okay. So one thing that some people miss is that words in different languages have different sizes. So let's say we have this English menu. It has articles, books, events, jobs, and membership. if a developer that's not familiar with the translation or the content of the translation will assume that the sizes will remain the same. However, in Arabic, it might be shorter and sometimes it might be longer because some words are composites of 2 words actually, while the others are just like 3 letters, while in English they are 5 letters. Let's say take membership here. In Arabic, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters, and it occupies a smaller space. And sometimes it's the other way around. So as you can see in the English version, the width of the menu is 520 pixels, while in Arabic, it's 447. So we have a huge difference, and which is very obvious, especially on different devices. So we always have to account for that in the sense of knowing what content is going to be placed inside this container. There's so many solutions for this, either by specifying a specific width, a maximum width, a minimum width. There's so many techniques like to overcome and to achieve this. But the main thing about when translating is always synchronize, is always communicate with the content people to align on what's going inside these placeholders or these elements. From a technical point of view, as we described in the first slides, we can have 2 style sheets, one style sheet for English and one style sheet for Arabic. And then we can define these properties in every style sheet so that when we're loading the Arabic language, we load the Arabic style sheet and it overrides all the settings that are used for the Arabic. And for the English, we load the style.css, and then it will load also the specific properties and values for the English language, and then we can overcome this this issue in that way. Another thing is the we call them the logical defaults. So it's true that we've spoken a lot of rotating things, flipping things, moving them from left to right, and moving them from right to left, but some stuff should remain the same. It's like the menu volume.
Plugin. But the major issue, which is usually when you create a page, for example, about us page, okay, let's consider this is in English. You duplicate this page and make it in Arabic, and then you duplicate this page and make it in French, for example, okay? When we come to the shop page, the shop page is unique. You cannot duplicate it, okay? So this was major issue. I searched a lot about it. I couldn't solve it. You cannot duplicate it, you know. The shop page is unique. So there must be a certain solution for it. I hope if anybody has an experience about this, we can share it. Otherwise, we have to make some research and share it in the community.
Bassem,
Yes.
just a question. You are using WPML on the website?
No, WP-Lang.
WP-Lang. Is WP-Lang do the same as WPML, or is just that?
No, usually it's like yeah.
Like you have a switch.
WPML, but I'm using WP-Lang.
Like you have language switcher. Like you have a language switcher,
Yes,
and you switch
exactly.
between one language to another.
Yes, and you duplicate the page, translate it, and link it to the another language. For example, you did about us page in Arabic. You duplicate this page. You translate its content in English. Okay. and you tell WordPress that the related Arabic page is that page, which is the Arabic one. Okay.
Yeah. But you have the shop products are all in English, in all languages.
Yes, the shop page you cannot duplicate it because there must be only one shop page in the website. Okay.
Really, I think you can have two shop pages and put the short code of the shop, of the WooCommerce shop, in both languages on both shops, you know, so it should work this way.
The short link, maybe yes. I haven't tried this. I should make custom page and put the shop URL, short URL there inside it, and assign it to different language.
Yes, because I think
this.
every language has a different URL. So like when you have /AR/shop, it should load that page. When you have /EN/shop, you load the other page.
I know this.
This is for the translating plugin to handle slugs and to know where to redirect.
Yes. I'm aware of that. I must try the shortcode in the custom page, but further research would be better for all of us.
This is amazing. Sorry, guys, I dropped because my internet disappeared for a minute or two. So you were on your own at the end of the presentation. But Basim, thank you very much for this question. Actually, I was thinking about something like this just recently, but I didn't have a challenge to solve it. So I was like, okay, maybe that's not an important question, but it seems it is. Do you have any more questions?
Not for now. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else has a question that they would like to ask? Lokesh, how about you?
Yeah, so I have a question. So you guys mentioned about plugins that we can use for language translation. So does it have any impact on the SEO? Suppose if I build a website in English and I don't have any clue of Arabic, but I use Polyline, you know, to display my website maybe in Arabic or maybe in Urdu. So will that affect my SEO? Because I have noticed that, you know, if you use machine translation, Google doesn't like that. It penalizes you and all your pages are bam outside the search engine.
Definitely these plugins weren't made for machine translation. They were made like to handle displaying content based on the language specified by the user. So you need to provide both languages, like you need to provide the English content and then you have to go and write the Arabic content or the other language and place it there. Having multiple languages on a website is very SEO friendly. Like it's preferred to have multiple languages instead of one language. So I don't see a way why Google should penalize you on having Arabic language or English language, as long as the URL structure is it's valid, it's human readable, it differentiates between the English and the non-English content or the different language, different content. Some of the translating plugins, they do have suggestions of the most commonly used words or phrases, like let's say continue, skip, back, forward, email, confirm. These terms have been used so many times. So some translating plugins gives you this suggestion like to quick replace or quick use these predefined dictionaries. But I don't think that machine translating a whole text is a good thing. It's not even probably readable. I don't think that anyone have invented a tool that allows you to like 100% translate a full text. Of course, like Google Translate can help you understand the context or what this paragraph is talking about, but is it proper English or proper Arabic? I don't think so.
No,
yeah.
That accuracy has not yet been reached by any of the translating tools. Even Google at its best couldn't do a lot about it.
Yeah. I think whoever reaches there is gonna rule the world. So
yeah, so that was the only thing. So yeah, it was very nice to see your presentation, and yes, you had a nice collection of languages that from right to left. My mother tongue was mentioned over there. And you even had the Hindi script. Actually, the Hindi script is not right to left; it's left to right.
oh,
So
really? We need to
Yes. So that Hindustani word that you wrote over there, Hindustani basically means Indian, is actually written in left to right. We write the script in left to right, not right to left.
All right, that's very interesting. Anyone else has a question, or perhaps a remark or a suggestion to our speakers?
I still have one issue, sorry.
Please, Basim, say.
Okay. Maybe it's not related to themes and so on, but it's related to multi-language, which is the SEO that we were talking just about it. Usually for example, if we use the Yoast SEO or any other tools, we put site description, okay? Usually we put it in English. And we use keywords, okay? But whenever we have different languages, so in this case, we need to put 2 descriptions, 2 keywords. You got my point. So where we put this, or is it enough to put only 1 language, or we shall put 1 description as 2 paragraphs, which is not logic, 1 in English, 1 in Arabic, because we need to introduce our keywords to search engine. How shall we solve this?
So this is a 2-part thing. I'm gonna tell you about the description. Definitely, it's a good experience to have a description just for the English and a description just for the Arabic. So mixing them is not an advised behavior because it doesn't really relate to an English speaker to find Arabic text. They might think that there's something wrong here. Why am I seeing English and Arabic at the same time? Maybe it makes sense to us as Lebanese or multi-language speaking countries, but for from a user's perspective or point of view, it might look wrong. In terms of in terms of technical, there are so many ways. Some plugins, they automatically find all the texts that are in your theme and provide you with a panel to give the translations. Sorry. And some other languages require some manual intervention by placing codes that display different text based on the language. Maybe Ali can help me more on this. He's more familiar with WPML and Polylang.
Yeah, actually, in both WPML and Polylang, when you duplicate the page and translate it, you will see at the end a box for if you are using Ghost or if you are using whatever plugin for SEO. You will see a box that where you can place your translated SEO text.
Yes,
SEO description.
meta description.
Yeah.
Meta title and the meta description.
Okay. Okay. So we shall put it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
There's also another thing that helps Google identify your website. It's called the hreflang. So this also has to change from EN to AR, which allows Google to automatically detect the language of the website and to split the results in Search Console. You know that Google, they have a product called Search Console. It helps you in your SEO. It shows you all the keywords that people are searching for. How are you ranking on some specific search terms in which countries? And it gives you a split by language if your website is multi-lang. So one of the main attributes that Google relies on in detecting what your language is, other than the default methods, is the hrlang. It's the most important thing to have and to differentiate between multiple languages.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. I have a question actually. Let's say if I'm preparing and let's say I'm creating a website and I've chosen a theme, and do I need to take any precautions regarding alignment, or the team will automatically handle it? What's your experience? I mean, is there anything that I should be aware of there?
Well, if the theme developer watching us now, he should be already he should work on his theme to support right to left language. So it depends on the theme itself. If the theme do support the RTL, you will have no issue. However, if the theme does not support RTL, then the theme developer needs to watch this presentation and make the needed instructions to make your life easier and make his theme support right to left language.
That's cool. So let's say I will not choose the theme myself, but someone else. So would you be able to tell me like what would be the best RTL WordPress themes? Like, is there anything that you can recommend?
Look, like 3 years ago or more, there were literally maybe 10 RTL websites. Nowadays, there's thousands, if not more. Every day I see the Arabic language community growing and growing and building more WordPress themes. I've seen the huge template marketplaces selling mind-blowing right to left themes. And I've seen also famous templates that are being used by millions of users. They have turned around and provided support for RTL language. So I think it's just matter of selecting the filter RTL, and you're gonna find so many themes for everything. Whether you're you need a theme for blogging or for an online teaching academy or for travel or for everything. Developers nowadays are really aware of this, and because they know that the Arabic community or the RTL community is growing more and more, and they are getting more and more connected, and the demand is growing. Eventually, it's all about demand and business. So they know that this market generates a lot of revenue. That's why they're really focusing on this. So there's a lot of themes out there. I don't have a specific one. I can name a lot, but I'm not going to give them free advertisement right now.
All right. No, that's cool.
An affiliate code.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Actually, one more thing that I look for. Most of them put the sentence they support RTL language in their theme description. However, some of them support RTL without putting this sentence. So I just search the comments of the people, and I always see someone asking for, do your theme support RTL? And the theme authors replies, they're like, yes or no. So maybe whenever I am looking for the theme, I do this practice and see if it supports the RTL or not.
Let's just hope that in future the RTL enhancement would actually become like the standard, right? So there wouldn't be a thing of whether yes or no, but that all themes are supporting it, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, look, it's like a collaborative effort of the internet community. Like when you see big companies targeting the MENA region or targeting non-English markets, it brings with it a lot of developers, especially English developers or non-Arabic developers, attention to this market, and they start developing products or plugins or themes or anything that they can sell to this community, as long as you're having like a market that you can make business out of.
Sure, that's great. I don't know if there are any more questions. We're already almost out of time, and we still have a game to play. So I will just stop the recording now, and thank you both Ali and Mohamed for this official part before we go into the gaming area, which we will not record. It was really a pleasure to see you, and hope to see you in some of our next meetings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maja, for hosting us.
The pleasure is ours.